Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Trainz Simulator, Trainz. Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest and greatest from K&L Trainz. What perfect timing too. I was actually in the middle of fiddling with the Eagle River, but as you guys know, I typically do a ton of my videos for Trainz either on the Eagle River or the DB and EV. Eagle River being arguably my all-time favorite route in general, added to any train simulator. It's just kind of that perfect do-all kind of route. You can kind of add a little bit of anything and everything to it, and so I've always enjoyed fiddling with it. I've always enjoyed kind of tinkering around with it, upgrading what I can. Matter of fact, we're on one of the versions I am working on right now, where we're gonna get rid of these blasted junction overlays, but adding in kind of a little narrow gauge, as if the railroad was originally narrow gauge or something. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the latest and greatest from K&L Trainz. I actually did not know that he was doing this. All the latest updates we've been seeing from him has been some Canadian stuff, but this was a little unexpected. This is actually one of the locomotives that I was trying to reskin myself, but I was going to reskin it just as the regular Canadian National model. So it's kind of cool that he beat me to it. It's kind of cool that he did it, though. It's kind of cool how he did it. So, this is the Canadian National X10A that has been modified for the Eagle River. So, some of the details have been changed around for the Eagle River to kind of match the look of Eagle River's locomotives. Probably one of the most notable of the lot would be an entirely different headlight, the capped stack, different number boards, stuff like that. But we get this, and we're getting a whole new train set to go with it as well, which is quite nice. I'll be getting a couple aux water tenders, which I gotta say, that's something that has been sorely needed for Eagle River in general. If you backdate Eagle River for a lot of the older steam locomotives, it's not so much an issue, but if you're trying to run it more modern, as the route is when you pick it up, it's kind of more set in a more modern era. Running the steam excursions, it's pretty rare to see steam excursions today on a major railroad that don't have an aux tender. So you get an aux tender, so that's really nice. And then it's supposed to be a dinner train update, and so you'll be getting a dinner train set to go with it, which in and of itself is really neat. So you'll be getting a whole set of cars here, one of which is a generator car, kind of a combo car right here. So this is a combine car. It's got a generator up here in the front. It's got a generator sound going on with our exhaust up here on top. So that's pretty cool. And then you'll be getting two diners. By the way, these are not dynamically numbered or lettered. The two dining, it is one dining car, and then you'll have to manually go in and change in your settings. So, you'll have to control right click whenever you're in the editor placing these dining cars down, and you can change the name between Locus Beatitudo, sure, I don't know, and Locum Amicorum. I don't speak whatever language it's supposed to be, but you can change the names between those two, and the numbers will reflect. So 9953, 9952, but as far as the combo and the observation back here, they're the only ones you'll get. They're not dynamically numbered or lettered, but still pretty cool. So dinner train set, two dining cars, and then an observation back here, parlor car. It's pretty cool. We got some people sitting back here. It's nice. It's nice to see stuff populated. You guys know I've harped a little bit on that whenever I go over routes for Trainz. I like to see populace. I like to see people. I like it to look animated, alive, not barren. So, you got an observation car. It's pretty neat. It's got its own little Eagle River Herald back here. Some ditch lights. The ditch lights do work. We'll have to pull this up to show it though. Boom. Ditch lights. Alright. Kind of obnoxiously bright. But still pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's turn those off. And then I believe, I don't think you can do it on the diners. No. But up here, you can open the baggage door. Oh, there it goes. So that's pretty cool. And inside we got some nuclear waste. And then our generators. The generators are pretty cool. I kind of get a kick out of the nuclear waste drums though. Interiors look pretty good. They're populated. Of course, our dining cars. Kitchen. Back to the kitchen. Inside the parlor car. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It does have some little details that do kind of irk me in this day and age. It does have the flat rivets. The rivets are textures, not individual objects, but it's not highly noticeable, especially from the sides. It's only really noticeable if you're up here. Other than that, it looks really good. The texturing looks nice. The brass actually looks really nice. It's kind of got this weathered, oldish look to it, which these cars would absolutely have if they were real. The lettering looks really nice. Nice and crispy, legible across the board. And the coloring's really cool. I like the color schemes. A little bit different. The other two train sets that we get with the 480 and the 280, they'll come with the passenger cars, some old wooden coaches and open air coaches and whatnot that are this color of yellow. So it's kind of cool to see these in a completely different color, because even the coaches that come with the route, the smooth side cars, they're all yellow. So it's a nice color scheme. And of course our aux tender, really nicely modeled. I believe, yeah, the locomotive and the aux tender, again, they're both 2D texture rivets, which again, not highly noticeable unless you're, right up on it. So that's not bad. A lot of nice detail. This is actually something that I was going to do differently on my model. I was going to do the colored Eagle River logo like you see on the freeware locomotives that are available. I was either going to do that or the yellow Eagle River lettering. But I will. This means I don't have to do the work now. Somebody else already did it, but it looks pretty good. I don't mind the buzzsaw scheme. It looks pretty good. Detail overall is really nice. Even our footboards actually looks. Our walkway here looks really, really nice. It's one of those weird details that's just really minty. And of course, the locomotive. Oh, and before I forget, there is a second aux tender with different lettering that you'll get. Never mind the locomotive, this is a work in progress. But you'll get a second aux tender with just the Eagle River lettering on it, which doesn't look half bad. Same tender, no details really changed, just the lettering. So anyway, back to the locomotive. I guess, you know what? Let's go here. Well, let's grab an X10 so that we can kind of see what's different and what's not. So, here's a proper Canadian X10. And here's the Eagle River. So one of the first things you're going to notice is the front end is completely different. It is the same core locomotive. You can clearly see that. Definitely the same core locomotive, but the front end, we get rid of the feed water heater. It gets a crown stack. The headlight it's an entirely different headlight, and it gets moved up, losing the number boards, and then of course the number board up on the front is changed. The pumps on the side are completely different. Naturally, a lot of this piping and such is associated with the feed water heater up here, so don't need any of that if there's no feed water, or no feed water heater, so that gets changed. Our generator is a different generator. Not vastly different, but it is different. The Eagle River one has a straight little exhaust, whereas the Canadian has a swept-back exhaust. Doesn't look like a whole lot changes over here. We got whatever this doodad is. It's not here. I believe that's about it. Yeah, I believe that's about it. I don't think really anything back here changes. I think they're both pretty much the same. So yeah, a pretty substantial facelift, I should say. I guess I could say. Pretty substantial facelift. Which is actually part of the lore, according to K&L's website. The Eagle River, essentially, to celebrate their 5-year anniversary of steam operations, they came up with a dinner train to operate. And of course, with a new train, you got to come up with a new locomotive to pull it. And so the Eagle River bought an ex-Canadian National X10 and restored it to operable condition, and then moved a lot of parts around and swapped parts out to give it an Eagle River look. And thus, we come up with this locomotive. And, you know, I really don't hate it. I really don't. I think it looks awesome. It's a really cheap pack too. I'm actually really surprised. I mean, I believe it's $8 right now, and brand new. The pack just came out. It's only $8. It's really freaking cheap. Really, really nice. So, we even have a cab. For those of you that enjoy that kind of thing. I don't care much for cabs on trains. I don't think cabs play well with trains, but it does have a cab. Let's see. What can we change? Spirit of Keen decal. I imagine that's going to be right there. You know what? We'll pull the locomotive forward so that we can see around one of my other projects here. So the chuff sounds, nothing necessarily special. We have heard those from K&L before, but that's not a big deal. If you don't like them, it's not hard to change out sounds on trains. Matter of fact, I would say Trainz is probably one of the easiest simulators out there to swap sounds around on. It is ridiculously easy. So, not too but they are pretty common on K&L locomotives. A lot of their smaller locomotives, pretty typical chuff sounds. That's interesting. We're stopped, but the drive rods are absolutely still moving. But anyway, Spirit of Keen decal, which adds the Spirit of Keen right here underneath the cab window, or underneath the cab number. Only on one side, not on the other. But so we get that. Of course, our automatic fireman, pretty standard on K&L models. Look here, whole list of stuff. Of course, cab doors. Should be these doors right here. Side doors should be these doors right here. Our vents. And then our rear windows. These are tank locomotives, so they've got a little window facing backwards. A pretty fair number of options that we can tinker with here. And then, of course, everybody wants to hear the Wombo Combo bell and whistle. That is an awesome sounding whistle. According to the lore, the whistle is a South American 5-chime. Very, very similar to something you would hear on the Rio Grande. So, it sounds phenomenal. It really does. That is an awesome sounding whistle, and probably one of the few times I would absolutely say, don't change it. If you don't like it, of course, again, it's ridiculously easy to change out sounds and Trainz, but that is one of the best sounding whistles for the Eagle River content so far. That's just, man, that sounds good. And as you can see, for some wonky reason, we are set to 0, but our wheels are most definitely still moving. Very slowly, but it says continue to just slowly roll. Kind of wonky, but chuff sounds and bells should be the same for both these locomotives. The bells are identical, so oh, they're not the same. That's kind of interesting. Same bell model, different bell sound. A bit different, but I don't hate it. Of course, our headlight, pretty typical K&L headlight. Not the worst, not my favorite. I'm just not a fan of the really, really, really bright kind of white. But, that's another thing. The builder's plate is on the Eagle River model, where it's not on the Canadian National model. But anywho, let's take it down the rail. Let's go have some fun with it for a minute. We do have a blowdown, which will be your Q button. Again, like I said, I am very much in the process of working on this area of Keene, so never mind my really wonky track work right now. I'm still trying to decide where I'm going to go with this, because I had done this before. I had actually added a kind of a little standard gauge portion here that ran out to here to kind of look like it was part of this old bridge here. And I used to use some of the old Civil War content, just kind of like a this is what the railroad used to be, this is, you know, a little museum or something. It was kind of cool, but I decided the narrow gauge would be a better option, so I started completely redoing this, but I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do the narrow gauge yet. So and that's a good sounding whistle. That really does sound good. Like I said, that is just one of the best whistles for Eagle River so far. It's very minty. Exhaust smoke looks pretty good. I won't lie. It's kind of nice. Got a nice, kind of natural look to it. The steam exhaust, not so much. Steam exhaust has our painful little cotton balls here. Our steam exhaust is also not attached to the exhaust pipe. It's back here. Not too terribly noticeable, but it is something. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Get it up to that 30 for this 30-mile-an-hour stretch. Now, this locomotive has really small drivers, so it's going to look like it's flying along at 30 mile an hour. Originally, the X10s were built as commuter locomotives. So, running commuter services with relatively short passenger trains. They're built to really pick up and go quickly. So they have smaller drivers. They're not meant to run really high speeds. They're just meant to pick up and go like a commuter service should. So really small drivers. It's going to look like it's moving along really quickly, but it's really not. It is absolutely natural. Yeah, that's a good looking locomotive. It sounds really good. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and bring it to a halt. Nicely done. We don't have an immediate stop. I like it. We just kind of got a nice slow roll. Aha! Exhaust shafts. So yeah, there it is, guys. The K&L number 62 Eagle River pack for a modified X10 dinner train. Eagle River number 62. Definitely go check it out if you're a fan of the Eagle River, which I obviously am. I love the Eagle River. I think it is absolutely one of, if not the best routes available for trains. So, if you have it, you definitely need to have this pack. It is 100% recommended. I love it. Phenomenal. But even if you don't have the Eagle River, maybe you like to reskin stuff for tourist railroads and whatnot, this isn't excellent starting spot. Really nice locomotive. Really nice setup. Highly recommend it. I highly recommend checking out K&L's other stuff. I do try to get to them as I have the time. But I know some people have bugged me about not doing K&L stuff. It's not that I don't like K&L stuff. I'm just not a big fan of Pennsylvania Railroad, and the large majority of K&L stuff is Pennsylvania Railroad. But when he does stuff like this, I really, really enjoy it. This is a phenomenal pack, phenomenal model. So do go check it out. 100% worth it. Absolutely recommend it. Definitely a must-have if you're a fan of the Eagle River. So go check it out. It's like $8. As always, I put the link in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.